Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Marvel Omnibus of S.H.I.E.L.D, the complete collection. This is the variant edition cover. I got this from a local comic shop, and I thought it was cool because it had the cast of ABC's Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D on the cover. They do have another cover. They did actually not have that at the comic store, but that's okay. I like this one. I was happy to get the variant edition. So just keep in mind there are two covers out there. I believe one's got Nick Fury on the cover, and this one is the TV cover variant. So just keep that in mind if you're looking to collect this omnibus, that there are two variants out there, so you got to decide which one you want, unless you want both of them. But if you just want to read the book, it's no point in getting two. Here's the spine. Now these are all the issues done by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Jim Sterenko. Here's in the back. It collects Strange Tales 135 to 168, Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. 1 through 15, Fantastic Four 21, Tales of Suspense 78, The Avengers 72, and Marvel Spotlight 31. This did retail for $100 at the time. I went against my usual rule of not paying full cover price. Because I did not buy this online, so I did not get a discount on it. I ended up paying full cover. So go ahead, call me a hypocrite, whatever you want. I always say though, try and avoid paying full cover price if you can help it. There are usually deals out there, and it's possible for you to do that. But this one, I saw it, like the variant cover, and I thought I'd snap it up, so I did. Typical of your Marvel omnibuses, black cover, but instead of the silver imprint that they usually do, they colored it. They colored S.H.I.E.L.D. in red. Marbling effect you still have. And here you have Nick Fury himself on a splash page. Here's another one. Good old Nick Fury. They do have a bunch of different writers on these. Stan Lee, Jim Sterenko, Jack Kirby, Dennis O'Neil, the late great Dennis O'Neil did an issue. Roy Thomas, Archie Goodwin, Jim Starlin, a whole bunch of famous people did the writing. You've got some famous artists. Jack Kirby. Of course, Jim Sterenko was very famous for some of the issues that he did on Strange Tales and S.H.I.E.L.D. You've got Joe Sinnott, Don Heck, John Buscema, Herb Trimpe, Barry Windsor Smith, Dick Ayers, Sal Buscema, and Howard Chaykin. So lots of very well-known writers and artists participated in making these issues. Now, this is Silver Age issues. They start out in December of 1963, and they do creep into the Bronze Age because the last two issues are from 1970 and 1976. But if you go just by the S.H.I.E.L.D. issues, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it ends in 1969 in November. So it's still Silver Age for the most part. Most of it is. Starts off with Fantastic Four number 21, guest starring Sergeant Fury. Now, I am not the biggest expert on Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. I know of the organization because I'm a Marvel fan, obviously, and I've read lots of issues with S.H.I.E.L.D. in there taking part in the plots. But if you ask me if I'm an expert on Nick Fury and the comings and goings of S.H.I.E.L.D. itself, I'm not. So before he became Nick Fury, head of S.H.I.E.L.D., he was Sergeant Fury. And they have this issue in here by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. So, again, if you like Fantastic Four, you've got that issue right there. Now, here we have the start of Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is in Strange Tales number 135, and Strange Tales involved Doctor Strange, but we're not getting the Doctor Strange stories. We're getting the Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. stories. And again, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby came in, did the writing. We've got the S.H.I.E.L.D. car with the flying S.H.I.E.L.D. car. If any of you watched the TV show, you know that was portrayed in there. Of course, Hydra and all their glory is the main enemy, and we're going to see lots of Hydra. So if any of you have watched the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies and you're curious about Hydra and what they do, they've got a long history in Marvel Comics, and S.H.I.E.L.D. fought them a lot. So you can learn a lot about Hydra from reading these issues. Like I said, you will not find the Doctor Strange parts of these comics. It's Nick Fury. It's S.H.I.E.L.D. But I mean, classic stuff here. Like I say, Stan Lee writing it, Jack Kirby doing the art. I like Jack Kirby's artwork, always been a fan. So it's nice to have these issues and be able to get some more King Kirby in here and be able to enjoy his artwork. Jack Kirby did art for Marvel and for DC, and I am the kind of fan that I like Marvel and I like DC. I really have no preference for either company. It's the characters that I like. So if you ask me what superheroes I like, I can tell you that, and my preferences go by characters, not by publishing houses. So I didn't care who Jack worked for. It was nice to see his artwork. Here we have Tales of Suspense, featuring Iron Man and Captain America. This is number 78, and it's got Captain America and Nick Fury teamed up. Again, Jack Kirby's working on the art for you. So it's just really nice to have these issues. Recognize these guys with the wastebasket heads? These are AIM, Advanced Idea Mechanics. I wish they'd have had AIM in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They kind of hinted at it in, was it Iron Man 3? I think it was. They hinted at it, but we didn't get to really see them. And it would have been cool to see a bunch of minions running around with wastebasket heads on, all dressed in yellow and using all kinds of weird scientific equipment and weapons. We're still in Strange Tales. Again, Jack Kirby and Stan teaming up. Lots more Hydra warfare going on. Nick Fury really takes it to him. S.H.I.E.L.D. is doing a lot to fight him. Now here is some words and thoughts from Jim Sterenko. He did quite a little essay here. Several pages. This is back in 2009, and I don't know the history of how he was brought on board, but his job was writing and, well, he was plotting and drawing them. He was the main artist. He took over from Jack. Stan Lee did do the editing, Roy Thomas did the scripting, and Jim did the plotting and the drawing. So we have a change of artists here, but as fans may know, Jim here, he said written and drawn by Jim Sterenko. Jim took over and really made this series his own. A lot of these Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. issues were made famous by Jim Sterenko. And we're still in Strange Tales, so some of these things have Dr. Strange on the cover, and again, you're not going to see those. If you like reading the letter pages, they do have those included in here. Paper stock is exactly what you would expect from a Marvel Masterworks book. So I think that Marvel Masterworks did have a series of these. So the Omnibus is basically a compilation, of the Marvel Masterworks series, and it's the same quality of paper stock. Just kind of nice and smooth, good quality paper. They don't really talk about restoration much, but I'm sure these are restored because the colors really pop. Lots of bright 1960s Silver Age color coming at you. I like this here. He's got a wingsuit. Boy, that was ahead of its time, wasn't it? Wingsuits are looked at as fairly modern. Here's something interesting. We have a fold out. All of this. All of it. I've not seen this in an omnibus before. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then Dr. Doom. Here we have classic. This is Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. #1. Who is Scorpio? Classic by Jim Sterenko. He wrote and illustrated this. I really like how the opening sequence is just completely wordless. Got issue 2. Here's a classic panel here, series of panels. Nick is relaxing, and the young lady with him and him very obviously get intimate with each other. But I thought that Starranco was a genius as to how he drew this. No words, nothing was said. It was just images. And nothing terribly suggestive either. So he managed to get this past the Comics Code Authority censors. As a kid reading it, I don't think you'd pick up on anything. But as an adult, you know exactly what's going on, and you know exactly what they're doing. So genius work by Jim Sterenko. And we continue into the issues of Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is an essay by Roy Thomas. This here, issue 4, is a classic issue. I don't know if it's a key issue or not. It says it's a S.H.I.E.L.D. origin issue. But I've seen that cover before. Starranco does a good job. It would have been hard to follow in the footsteps of Jack Kirby, I'm sure. That was probably a little intimidating, but he really ran with it and made it his own. And we're still on Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. And of course, everything is very 1960s, so you got to keep that in mind when you're reading this. This is Silver Age, so the fashions, the activity that's going on, vehicles, things like that, attitudes of characters are going to be very 1960s. So keep that in mind when you're reading this. It is a period piece. Good spy stuff. If you like spy stuff, James Bond type things, you will enjoy Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is very much James Bond-esque type of adventures. This is where Herb Trimp came in here, did an issue. Here we have the Avengers, number 72. This was written by Roy Thomas and drawn by Sal Buscema. And here we have Marvel Spotlight. And this is on Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is Howard Chaykin's art. So if any of you are familiar with Howard Chaykin, again, another famous artist, he was able to be a contributor to the world of Nick Fury. Oh, here we have the extras. What extras do we have? We have some covers. Some reprint covers from the very early 70s. Not Brand Eck, the parody comic by Marvel, and they do a number on S.H.I.E.L.D. And you have the S.H.I.E.L.D. portion of that issue. This is from the late 1960s, 68. So I'm not really into Not Brand Eck, so I don't really care. It's just kind of silly stuff to me. And here's Stan Lee. This is a piece he did from 1975, so it's not new. Here we have some house ads from 1965 and 1968. And you've got some original art by Jack Kirby and also by Starranco. This was by Kirby and Dick Ayers, more by Kirby. This is the unaltered artwork by Jim Sterenko right here. What had happened was the Comics Code requested the removal of the bonds across Nick Fury's neck in the first two panels, if you can see right here. They didn't like that. So in this original art, you can see it unaltered. those would have been removed for the actual publication. So it's interesting to see what the censors didn't like. Here's some more original art. This is the original art, again, by Starranco. Comics Code Authority didn't like it. They didn't like the rendering of the Contessa's posterior. They thought it was a little scandalous. Looks a little too hot for the kids, I guess. So they had to do some altering on that. This was here's the panel that I also mentioned. This reflects the pre-existing art before the comic code changed things. So when I went over this particular piece in that one issue, it was too hot for the Comics Code. They removed some cleavage. They changed it so it was less steamier. A lot is the same, but as you can tell by the end, yeah, it was absolutely for sure what they were doing. So very interesting to see what the censors did and what was originally done. So it was interesting extras. Here we have some trade paperback covers. Oh, here's the omnibus for the other omnibus, the cover. So if you're looking for the other art, maybe you want this instead. I like this one. I would not have turned this one down, to be honest, if I had my choice. I'm not sure which one I would have taken, because I think the TV cover is cool, the variant cover, but I also like this one. So, I don't know, which one would you have picked? There's my cover. Well, thank you again for joining me. I hope that you found this interesting. If you have managed to acquire a copy of this, let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know what your thoughts were on the Comics Code censorship. I thought that was very interesting, some of the cuts that they required. And, would they have cut that stuff today? I don't know. Everything's changed. It's all different. So, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Bye.